Good morning. So we are on day 16 of Radio Yoga Beyond the Mat. We're discussing Simon Haas's book, Yoga in the Dark Night of the Soul. We are on chapter titled Make Your Work an Offering, chapter 10. Just started that chapter, but before we dive into some of the wonderful things Simon has to share about Seva, service, taking a detour and just discussing the difference between lust and love. So this idea of taking something or desiring something to acquire it is love. Expecting something from people or having that need to have instant sense gratification is termed as lust, whereas love or prem is actually more of a seva bhav. It's about giving and something that makes us selfless, which is unmotivated, something which is spontaneous, and in some cases even uninterrupted. So a mother's love for her infant, a teacher who's truly embodiment of the teachings that they have to share, really give from their heart. They're attentive, they're patient, they care, they want to be empathetic and help students. So true love really elevates the person who's also giving love and also elevates the person who's receiving the love. True love is like it's uninterrupted, so it's always there, it's long lasting. Lust has negative outcomes. It degrades us, it doesn't uplift our soul and our journey in this journey of the soul. And in a way, it withers us because our coverings of false ego, our desires, which can lead to consequences, which, if not desires not fulfilled, can lead to anger, which then could lead to sufferings over a lifetime because of our delusional acts. So, and those sufferings are related to phases of time, which could be lamentation, remorse of our past actions, or remorse of, why this did not happen to me, or why I wasn't successful, why that person became successful, or even being confused with the present because we just constantly just grappling with what's going on, like one fire from another. We're not centering ourselves or nourishing our soul. And finally, of course, fearing the future because, our life is constructed with the whole paradigm of wanting something. So our body should always do what we want. It should have the best digestion system forever. It should have the best bone density forever, which that's not possible. By nature, anything that comes from nature is temporary. So, whereas the soul is eternal. And so love is elevating. It is expressed through not expectation, but appreciation. And it blossoms us as well as the people in our lives all around us. So, this was some interesting conversation that I've been having with people I meet on this topic of seva. But things that we take away from divine love or devotional service, as Srila Prabhupada used to kind of coin the phrase for divine love. Because divine love is essentially not misleading, but it could be just have love for God and just doob jao, bhavuk ho jao. But we cannot reach that stage unless we go through the fire of service. We can't really have that true love. Love is a verb. It's not just a random noun. It's an interaction. It's a connection. It's not just a feeling. It's action. It's not random. It definitely is intentional. Comes from the heart and not just whims and fancies of the mind, which is fickle like a monkey. Love is chemistry. Love is commitment. I mean, love is not really chemistry. We are told love is chemistry, but yes, it is a deep commitment, long-lasting commitment. love is binary. Well, that's what we are told. You can either love somebody or hate somebody. But in this chapter, we'll also realize what Simon's teacher explains what binary really means and how it holds us back. Uh, it's not that we are on a switch on or off button. Uh, Either we are in love or we are out of love. It kind of unfolds in stages, and anyone who's been married for many years will know that it definitely is something that unfolds in stages. Yes, we are told that love is without any sort of awareness, but it's totally the opposite. It's full awareness, bringing your full awareness, listening in, leaning in to, and paying attention to people. And that again, I think he explains in this book. Circling back to my teacher's book on this subject, he's very nicely, had this visual in this book which says, see through the eyes of service, which is, you can always expect things from people. You can lust, right? All the things that we said love is not, we can look at that. But if we change our perspective through the lens that we wear, instead of a dark lens, we have this clear lens. We see through the eyes of service. And in Simon's book, Yoga and the Dark Night of the Soul, he expresses how his teacher's actions really endeared him to his teacher. When he was a young monk, brahmachari, at the temple, there was a person who was dying of tuberculosis, and there was no one coming forward to really become that hospice caregiver. And when Narayan Maharaj took that seva, and so intently as well as with full attention, he did that seva for that dying brahmachari, young brahmachari who was suffering from tuberculosis, which is a contagious disease. That really, embodies this view of unmotivated, selfless, spontaneous seva, which really helped him progress in his own bhakti and receive Diksha from his guru. So I think that was one point here. Likewise, there have been many saints who have been inspired by Srila Prabhupada, and one of them was Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. He grew up in a evangelical Christian family, but he always had some divinity in him. Luckily, he met devotees while he was studying at Princeton, or around that, or before that, actually. And he became a very modern proponent as well as leader in the Bhakti movement. And he died early of cancer, which kind of meant that cancer was spreading everywhere. So they had to cut different limbs just to keep him alive. And he was this very strong young man, and I think probably in his 40s he died, or later maybe, but still youthful enough to really carry the movement forward. And his mood at the time of all these pains and sufferings was totally immersed in the idea of bhakti. He would continue his readings, discussions, and also conducting these classes even while he was in pain, or one by one some of this amputation was happening. And he talks about how it really helped him progress to look at his body as a means, or whatever his faculties were, as a means to do seva, and how in some ways he was having this gratitude that he was able to take the pain away from people. He was there by sharing these lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam and other texts of the Bhakti tradition. So he's written wonderful books, including books on leadership, which eventually I'm sure will be realized as one of the phenomenal works on leadership. And I can go on, but I'll move on. So his attitude, was demonstrating his level of altitude of understanding the philosophy and living the philosophy that he understood. So that's another level of seva. We are all suffering, and then like bodily we are suffering, maybe through our relationships at work and anywhere else we are suffering. But just like Bhakti Tirth Swami or uh, all our uh, all our senior Bhakti yogis, we've seen how their life shows that the lens of service, you're able to empathize with the pain of others and use your body instrument for that service. Yes, we did this slide too. We are happier giving rather than taking. Anyways, before I move on to more on this subject, let's have a discussion. Some things that you've read, Arvind, that you wanted to sort of discuss.
What I had mentioned briefly at the end yesterday of the discussion, that uh, I mean, it's definitely true for the individual that you enjoy what you're giving, and enjoy the notion of service, and enjoy your work, and that is you know uh, I mean, the topic of the chapter itself and indicates that. So but what I'm saying is, how if you contrast that with the modern world, where the whole emphasis is on, rather than enjoying your work, it's on projecting the work that you're doing,
Mm.
on the Instagrams or the LinkedIn's or whatever. Isn't there a contradiction? You will just enjoy your work. You will just, feel you. For the individual, it's very satisfying, definitely. But
Mhm.
I feel that in the modern world, one sees a contradiction. That while there is one set of people who are enjoying their work, who are deeply immersed in their work, and
Yes,
not bothered about the fruits, there's
yes,
another set which is without working, projecting itself.
yeah.
What kind of level are they? How would you where would you fit them in this scheme of things?
I think so. There's that level of ignorance, right? Not knowing what
Yes.
true identity is, and
Mm,
not living from that truth
mm,
is what uh, the first and the last verse of the Gita really summarize.
mm,
Dhritarashtra's question, "What is happening?" Whereas the last verse of the Gita, where Sanjay is kind of giving you falashruti,
mm,
living a life of wisdom, or realized wisdom, which Arjun gets through the 18 chapters. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijaya Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. So it basically means where there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and where there is Arjuna, the supreme archer or the student, there will always a true student or a student who is practicing bhakti. There will always certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So why are people claiming, falsely that they were the doers, and
mm,
trying to project their
mm,
uh, superiority over others, or
mm,
not giving credit where it's due, or not being collaborative and cooperative, is because of the lack of understanding of what is dharma kshetre, what is dharma, what is. If you look at the first syllable dhra and the last syllable of the Gita, so the first verse starts with Dhritarashtra, dhra ma. So that's what the whole shastra is. It's a darshan shastra, and the idea of darshan is to see. Have that spiritual vision, but also understand and be empathetic toward people who are still on the what is happening vision level, to how I should win and everyone else should lose vision, or even to get too confused in philosophical sort of speculation when you want to do good, which is Arjun's level of vision, to rise above that. And I think this is a good segue into, do we really believe in divinity? Right? Do, the basic problem is that we don't believe in divinity. We want to believe that we are the controllers of our body, which is temporary, our mind, which is crazy monkey.
mm,
uh, we don't want to believe that there is an higher power, there is a cosmic order, there is a harmony cycle which exists in the world through that cosmic power. We can give that cosmic power a name, an all attractive name, which is Krishna, uh, or any other name of your tradition, your disposition, your growing. But the fact is, the message of the Gita very clearly says that through seva is how you progress and reach your true success.
Mm,
And that's where you get the true opulence, you get
mm,
the true victory, you get
mm,
the true extraordinary power,
mm,
you get it to understand morality in the true sense, which doesn't mean fight or don't fight. It's morality of living a life of dharma, which is truth, purity, non-violence, and discipline. And non-violence doesn't mean you do not do your kshatriya duty. It means understand what is the least harm,
mm,
because you will uphold dharma, which means you will actually make the cosmic order a happier situation, because that's your seva. So just to elaborate on this, it's actually when we don't do this, uh, we are caught up in our own imaginary fears, lamentation, and confusion. That is false ego.
mm,
Then there is disparity in our words and behavior. We might wax eloquently about collaboration, cooperation, and how it's nice to have team members, but take all the credit, you know,
mm.
or project ourselves. Uh, it would then there's another point. Uh, hmm, how can I truly share wisdom if I'm seeking to profit from it? I would simply be another person. So he's thinking about his book, so where he's thinking of being stuck and caught up in the idea that he's the doer, he wants recognition. What if someone else takes my idea away and writes a similar book before I do? So Simon is also going through his own learnings while he's writing a chapter on
Mm,
being detached. So I think that is
mm.
a very interesting thing. That
Yeah.
after years of bhakti yoga, 16 years of practice with his teacher, he too realized that he wasn't fully realized. So it's a process. And when he freed himself up, I stopped being the author. I became a servant, the instrument of something much larger, because he looked at this offering of what his teacher had taught him, and he got detached from the fruit, saying that I will help publish my teacher's books, or I will donate all the earnings or profits from this book to a charity which I really wish to support. It just changed his approach to action. Right? When we say, "Oh, I want this title, I want this bonus, and no one else should get it. It's a competition," then it's a very different feeling. I no longer sought validation of my identity or my sense of worth. Through the project, I became an offering of the heart, a humble attempt to serve my teacher. I'll do this last point because Krishna really says, I mean, cosmic harmony is what we see. I will preserve what you have and provide what you need. And that's what the universe is doing. Um, and it's really hard to believe that because we don't believe in divinity. I think that's the crux of the problem. Uh, and so, how to get spiritual wisdom back taught when it was early through families who knew this or had teachers who would teach them and remind them of this would lead to kids and progeny which understood all this right from the get-go. Yeah.
Mm.
Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's the key, that you have to believe in divinity. Else, you start feeling that you are in control, and you
Yeah.
know you
You own
start
everything. Yeah, you
you
own.
own everything. So I think that's the key. Yes.
Perfect. So we'll leave you with that thought then, all of
Yeah.
us with that thought. So thank you.
Thank
Take
you.